And we are back for another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind. Brackin Lambert alongside Wes Kerr, Max Arraj. Fellas, happy Sunday. And real quick, before we even get started, Wes, happy birthday, dude. We missed you.
Yeah, man. A birthday boy. Yeah, happy birthday, bro.
But yeah, man, missed you out of the ballpark this weekend. And again, a rough one for USCB. But first off, how was your birthday?
Had a good day. Yeah, I mean,
good.
Had a nice dinner. Just got to hang out with friends and family, and yeah, it was a nice day. Beautiful weather. It's a nice birthday to have for sure, especially when it's so. It seems like every year in St. Patrick's Day, it's just so pretty. So it was a nice day to hang out and just spend some quality time with people. So I enjoyed that, and then now ready to talk some USCB athletics to round out the day.
Yeah, well. A tough one at the park for everybody this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about golf, softball, baseball, track and field, and we're full-fledged into spring sports now. So let's start off with softball. Max, you were on the call with me this afternoon.
Yeah,
it was my first time back on the call. It was great. First time all season that I've gotten to be on there, so it was a little strange. Man, we flew right through it. It was a great game, and tell us what you thought about this afternoon's action.
We watched Sierra Kinlaw in game one. She pitched a good game, but I think she pitched an even better game today. I mean, she was pitching lights out. Apart from that error, kind of blemish out in the outfield, and then that home run given up by her. Other than that, she really didn't give up much else. I mean, she had a really good game today, an incredibly good game. So, I was wondering, going in the seventh, and I think a lot of other people were, why take Sierra Kinlaw out in the seventh inning? And there are reasons to it, and I understand that. But, she was pitching so well, you would have thought she would have been able to get the job done, get those final three outs. I'm not like dissing Abby Ramirez. She's a fantastic pitcher, and, I have full respect for Coach Yeski and all. But, I wondered, why take her out? But, apart from that, it was a great game for Sierra. Great game defensively for USCB too, apart from, the one real big error in the outfield with Tamaya Whitlock and Darren Miller. So, it was a lot like the first two games yesterday. USCB was up with the lead going late into the game, and somehow, some way, Flagler found a way to score runs and end up taking the win. And they did that in two games yesterday, and they did it again today. So it's disappointing. I know that loss today is going to be painful for USCB for the next couple of days or so. But look forward to the next game. Look to the next start, the next. Just try to get a refresh, hit that restart button and start over. It's a new week. And, I think, USCB will get over this loss and they'll move on and start, playing like the team we know they can be.
That's all you can do. Just look forward to the next one and take some positives away. And I think the biggest positive is Caitlin Boyette hitting her first home run as a Sand Shark. And what I heard, it was a heck of a swing to put her on the board in that home run column. And, I kind of called it before the series on our other show, on our Lowco Lowdown, as we previewed the show. And I mentioned a couple names. And I said, watch out for Caitlin Boyette. She swung the bat well. She works deep counts. She's tough to retire at the plate. And she has a terrific overall week. And she caps it with a 2-run homer, which gave, at the time, USCB a 2-0 lead. Unfortunately, unable to hold on to that. And Sierra Kinlaw, excellent. She was perfect through 4. And, I was really excited for what I was seeing. I was tracking the game. And just unfortunately, it kind of goes the other way in that 5th inning. You got a, error and a solo home run. And just tough to see. I mean, you can live with giving up a solo blast. And it's sometimes, good team. I mean, that's a good team. And they were terrific up and down the lineup. I mean, I said 89 players, like, qualified players, 300 batting average or better, and you just look, at those home run counts. Like, anybody can swing at one point and knock one out of the yard. I mean, that's a really good Flagler team, and they will make you pay when you make mistakes. And sometimes it just doesn't take many for them to capitalize, and that's what good teams do. And for USCB, it's a tough one to take, especially because of how close you were. You were a strike away, and man, jeez, that definitely stinks whenever you're that close to picking up what would have been a big win. But three really close. All three games were incredibly close, and really, you saw those last two.
Yeah.
Both those games one play away. If that hit or the blast out at the end of game 2 was hit a little bit more towards that left center gap, that probably would have scored the winning run from first base instead of it's a game-ending fly-out and you lose by 1 run. And then today, you have a strike away from ending it. So it's just a couple plays going the other way. You win that series, it's a whole different outlook. So it's tough to see how it resulted. But,
yeah, for sure.
Really strong effort, especially really all 3 games. You can take away a lot of positives. Certainly, the first one, there were some instances where you wish you could have played a little different, a couple of different points in the game. But all in all, you can turn a lot of positives from what we saw over the weekend. And as you said, Max, I mean, you hit it perfectly. All you can do is just move on to the next one, and find a way to correct the mistakes and keep getting better. And this team is going to do that.
Yeah.
And I think they can really. They're close to being a very, very strong team, and I think down the stretch we're going to see a lot more of these games go their way, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a disappointing. Well, I wouldn't say disappointing. It was just a real tough series for USCB. I mean, this is a very good Flagler team offensively. I mean, being able to hold Flagler to 2 runs through 7 innings is not easy to do against this team. I mean, they were batting over around 350 as a team or something like that. Incredible numbers, but you got to look at the positives. Like JC Coleman, what a series she had. Another great game for her today. Caitlin Boyette with the home run, which was a moonshot. I mean, we saw that, and we weren't really able to see where it landed because of where our booth sits. But
Oh no, I saw it. I saw it go out the window.
Well, we knew it was going, but we just didn't know where exactly it landed. But I mean, we look at. You got to look at the positives. Sierra Kinlaw had another great game.
Yeah.
JC Coleman, Caitlin Boyette, they're stepping up. And it's good to see some of these players get hot. But you want so badly to see them get that win today. I mean, we were we were 1 out away, 1 strike away, and just out of nowhere, Flagler just scored 3 runs. So it's a rough and a painful game to watch if you're a USCB fan. But don't worry, they're still here. That record doesn't show how good of a team they are and how good of a team they can be. I mean, I really do think that give them, I think another couple series can go there to their advantage. I think they will have a real good shot of being real competitive and get those wins that are close.
2, 4-3, 5-3, all coming down to 2-run differential or fewer. So all of them were like hard-fought games till the very end.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you got to look at the positives, but then you also got to kind of look at the timeline. We're about 6 weeks left in the season. You've got you're in the midst. You're 12 games into to conference play, and now you're sitting at 1-11 for softball. And I mean, it's not that you don't hit the panic button, obviously, but you've got to start looking and saying, hey, we've got to find some ways to pick up some wins here. That we're playing in May. But the ace of the staff, Sierra Kinlaw, was the highlight today. 12 up, 12 down. She was phenomenal. And yes, I used phenomenal right there. She was great. Just knocking down batters just left and right, strikeout after strikeout. I understand the move to pull her in the 7th. It was coming around the 3rd time in the lineup that she was going to be seen.
Yeah.
And, that's kind of the code now. You look at the analytics, and I mean, even at the big league level, you see a pitcher a 3rd time, you're gonna time her up. And I mean, Kinlaw came in and got the last out of the inning and on 1 pitch. But I think Richie there was just ready to try it. She was sitting dead red trying to hit something, and she just popped it out to Simmons to end the inning.
Yeah.
I don't question the call at all. I think it was a good call. I think that, and Ramirez had it.
I'm not.
You can. Well, I'm not. Hold on. I'm not saying that it's in a bad way. I'm saying, every inning comes in, and you everybody's going to gripe about umpires, this, that, or the other, whatever. But I mean, the plate's 17 and a half inches wide, and on that specific pitch, she missed her spot, and then they made him. They made us pay for it, and so I mean, like, it's right there. But and this is something that that Coach Yeski and Coach Owen and I have talked about before. It's tough when you got a staff of about 5 pitchers and you can throw a few different of them at the you can bring in somebody different who you haven't seen. But in a 3-game series, you're going to see Kinlaw, Ramirez, and Brundage multiple times. So it's anything. I think
it's a tremendous job by this trio who have been they've been asked to carry a big load, just the 3 of them in terms of this pitching staff, and they've done an excellent job. I mean, they've had to work hard, and you've had to see each one of them in certain parts of a weekend series or just a doubleheader, and they've always seemed to produce and keep their team in it. Sometimes you just not able to get the runs that you need, but they just find ways, and sometimes you got to think about if you make one more defensive play, then we could have a different result, and that's something that it's tough, but it really helps everyone improve together and make sure that as we get further into the season, you find a way to make those big plays, and we've seen a lot of tremendous defensive efforts as well. I mean, you talk about the infield. I think Jaden Goodwin was terrific. She made a couple of excellent catches on line drives. Soraya Simmons has been awesome. Darren Miller covers pretty much the entirety of center field and more. I mean, she can make any catch out there. And JC Coleman has been outstanding, not just defensively, but at the plate. What a weekend, continuing what we saw with her first career home run. She came through a couple of times in big moments at the plate as well. So she's been impactful. And so you have the pieces around you, and it's a matter of, can you find a way to minimize those mistakes, pitching wise, which has been really solid for the most part on defense. And I know this team has certainly showed they're capable of it, because we've seen some excellent games from them where they are outstanding defensively. So if they can continue to show that, they'll be in really good shape. And we talk about this tough stretch where they've lost a couple of close games. Well, this is going to be the weekend to turn around, because they're at Augusta. They are sitting at 2-10. Sand Sharks 1-11. That seems like a big series, and one that is certainly
this is
more
going to be the
winnable, and it's one that
this is going to be the
one that you should
you got to pull in,
at least take 2.
Take 2, and you go in and try to sweep them. I mean, you got to go in here and try to pick up at least 2 wins at minimum, but you got to go out there big time. But I mean, JC Coleman, man, 11 for 17 this week, starting Monday. My brain got completely fried because we played Sunday, Monday with Aiken. She had 3 hits against the Pacers on Monday, and then she had another 2 great games against UVA Wise, and then a great series this weekend. So 11 for 17, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs and a home run. So she's not going to put the big power numbers up there like Addie did, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, but it'll be a shame if she doesn't get at least some consideration for player of the week. And because, I mean, it's just, she put up just 11 for 17. My goodness. I mean, she only got out 6 times. That's ridiculous. Yeah.
That's an incredible clip right there. And, to include the power with that home run, I mean, her first of her career, and, to have that long ball. I mean, that's just the icing on the cake for what we saw with Coleman. And then you add in what she did on defense with that incredible over-the-shoulder catch in that UVA Wise series, and just so solid out there, and really the complete package, and someone who deserves the accolades. Obviously, there's a lot of really talented players in this conference, and we'll see what happens with that. But, I mean, no matter what happens in terms of the awards, certainly someone who should be recognized and admired for what she's done. And especially someone who's been with the program a while. We've seen some players come and go, but she has really been there throughout this process, and it's been awesome to cover for a number of years now, and to see all the amazing things that she's doing now in her senior year to cap it off.
Yeah, she raised her batting average from 257 to 367. Unreal. Like that's an unreal number. So she's now.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me look real quick. While I have that, like I know that number because I obviously was putting in the Player of the Week nomination.
Yeah.
But she's now second in the lead team lead for batting average behind Jaden's 434. So I mean that's a pretty massive jump. And
it is. It really is.
Another player out of the 200. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that are qualified, batting over 300. Mackenzie Ford down at 208 and Mariah Stevens down at 191. Got to get those guys powered up, ready to go. That's the beefier, that's the power right there. Mackenzie Ford's got light tower power. Mariah Sanborn leads the team in homers with 5.
Speaking of Mackenzie Ford, she's already over 20 walks this year. She has got quite an eye at the plate.
Yeah, that OBP is growing up.
Yeah, I mean, Brackin, you and me were talking about it during the broadcast today about Mackenzie Ford. Finding a way to get her hot. And we saw her take that swing of that first pitch, and we were like, she is so close to getting that first pitch. Yeah. And it's great to see her find ways to get on base other than getting a hit, but I would love to see for her bat to, start lighting up again.
Yeah, she's working on it, and she's frustrated. Oh, yeah. She's not getting hits and all that kind of stuff, but she gets on base, and we said it in the broadcast, Moneyball, man, Billy Beanball, get him on, get him over, get him in. Yeah. Trade.
Yep.
Trade the base for an out, whatever. I think in the movie he said, they're giving you outs, take it, say thank you. Like just get them out there. But yeah, so softball at Augusta this weekend. It's going to be a fun series, and let's hope we pull out a couple wins. Let's move across the diamond to baseball. Man, 23rd ranked North Georgia. There are no holes in this conference, none at all. I mean, you might be able to tab a couple of conference games in and say, hey, we're gonna pick these in. We were all super excited after the Georgia Southwestern series. We thought that was going to be like the turn to put on. Even if you just have to win one or split one or something like, win one, win two, it don't matter. Just keep up there and keep going. But it's the walks, man. The walks this weekend really hurt baseball. Had the lead in both game 1 and game 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
And it came down to walks. So
I mean, game 2 at one point they were up, I think 5-0, 5-1, something like that.
Yeah.
And towards the later innings of the game, they just started giving up runs left, right, and center. And that was not just game 2; it was game 1 as well. And then game 3 was kind of a different story today. Georgia got the lead early, and they just never looked back in that game. So it's a rough series for USCB baseball, but hopefully they can somehow find a way to get back on the right track going into this next week.
Well, I look at I'm trying to look at positives, and I'm definitely going to look at the bullpen in the game today. 4 and 2/3 innings of shutout baseball, 1 hit ball from Tucker Dove, Devin Marlowe, and
it's what you need. That's what you need from USCB.
Josh Patterson, by the way, 5 strikeouts and 1 2/3. So all the outs were recorded on K's for Patterson. So great to see him excelling out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's they said at the beginning of the year, give him the start because he's it's tough being a reliever, man. You come up there in any situation with runners on and trying to throw strikes, especially if you're coming in when the wheels are falling off. It's not easy.
Oh man. Hey, trust me, I've done that before. It's never fun to come in with runners on base, let alone runners in scoring position. So yeah, I get that.
Especially in a close game in a high leverage spot.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think you want to win more and you want to do these things, and you got to just see what's going to happen. This schedule this year was extremely difficult. You got teams who are ranked with Embry-Riddle. You've got teams who are ranked in UNC Pembroke, who we welcome to Hardyville on Tuesday. So it's gonna be tough. But we said it with, you face North Greenville, you face St. Leo early on in the season. Those are the games that kind of show. And there haven't been too many games where you're just completely out of it. There's some, but there haven't been too many.
Yeah.
So you look at the positives and you look at the bullpen work there from that trio of guys, Tucker Dove, Marlowe, and JP, and you just be excited for it. So, we got, I think they're at home this weekend too. I think.
Yeah, baseball's home against Augusta.
Yeah, home against Augusta. That's right.
Augusta this weekend.
Augusta softball and Augusta baseball switching places, which I've said before. I know there's 9 teams in softball, but you get one bye weekend from conference play, and everybody else should play opposite. Makes life a whole lot easier, so we don't have doubles going on like we have at the end of the month.
Looking at this game today for USCB, I mean, much better game today for USCB, and we talked about the bullpen. But, the bats were there as well. They just couldn't find ways to score runs. I mean, you had 9 hits in the game, same as North Georgia. Just North Georgia found ways to score those runs off those 9 hits. So, I mean, the bats are there. It's just capitalizing on getting runners on base. I think that's what, the main focus is for USCB. Finding ways, when you get a runner on base, find ways to get that runner home. I think that's the main focus USCB
situational baseball
into this next week. Yeah,
I think you got to also look at the starter today, Cam Demigian. Man, he only lasted 3 1/3, but but he's also coming off of Tommy John surgery. He's less than a year removed from Tommy John, and it wasn't a full tear like we talked about, but he's still working his way back. And so
he's not 100% yet. He's not there yet.
We'll see how that goes. It's gonna be a great series against Augusta this weekend. And then we'll see how it goes. But we also had another event going on at home this weekend. Though it was it's spring soccer. So spring soccer kicked off this weekend.
Yeah.
And, on Tuesday, after the news of Coach Harris resigning his position as head coach, and no news yet on how that's going to happen, but assistant coach Dan Huff is taking over the day-to-day duties right now as head coach, and he's running the spring games, and USCB hosted College of Charleston to a 30-minute half scrimmage this weekend, or yesterday. Sorry. All my days are wrapped up. But USCB fell 1-0. But shout out to Emily Worrell. We're down to 1 goalie right now after Grayson Asher had a season-ending injury at Lander, and then Cam De Silva has moved on from the program. She's graduated. So Emily Worrell is the only goalie in there right now. So she's getting all the reps. But got a little message from Coach Huff, and he said that she played out of her mind, made 4 or 5 really great saves to kind of keep them in the game. And they scored in the last 10, 15 minutes of the game. And, at that time it's, these games don't mean anything. They're just there for kind of a
measuring stick.
See where you are, and you get your new players. Yeah. So we're gonna see how that goes, man. I'm really excited for soccer season to roll around in the fall and get going. But so shout out to our USCB soccer team for
that's a really, really strong performance against
a D1
quality group,
school,
a D1 Division I school in College of Charleston. So a lot to be proud of there, and I'm not at all surprised by Worrell. She has been a beast whenever I've seen her play in goal for these Sand Sharks. Had a couple of, throughout these last few years, had a couple of clean sheets and shutouts. By the way, I think is she? I believe at the end of the season she tied or maybe exceeded the record for shutouts. If you remember at the top of your head.
I think that was before we started the rewind. I think we mentioned it just in a social media post. But yeah, Emily is the all-time leader in wins, save percentage, shutouts. It's gonna be tough to beat the saves record because those early years where Chelsea Mummert, Chelsea Jones now is actually, you know what? Thinking about it, because I read her message from Chelsea on the air back when Emily broke the record. So it was right when we started the rewind. That was it. That's what it is. Yeah. So but yeah, Emily's atop the record book in a lot of categories. So it's gonna be.
You have to give credit. You have to give credit to the defense playing in front of her, for those accolades, because they limit the amount of shots that she has to deal with, and when you're able to consistently provide that strength on the back line, like we've seen with a ton of. I mean, there's Adriana Martin, Aaliyah White. There's been some excellent defenders, and so many different players have stepped up to the challenge, especially going straight to the Division II schedule. I remember in obviously they played a couple of AI teams, but I remember in 2022 they had an unbeaten streak to start the year, and Worrell was a big part of that. So she knows how to win. She knows how to make the saves, and she's made a couple of big saves on breakaways some of those games as well. So she can make the high quality stops, and just a really strong and consistent keeper. And you need one of those to win and keep your teams in tough games in this conference. And I mean, we saw that in so many different circumstances and so many situations throughout the season. So I mean, she is rock solid, and it's been fun to continue to watch her grow as a goalkeeper and just have that confidence that that she's going to come up big for you during some big moments.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting year, and it's also going to be exciting to kind of see what happens with the coach search, the national coach search. We're getting that, getting all the I's crossed and the T's, or the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Man, my brain's all over the place today. I'm completely backwards. But that's what it. That's what it is. But we're getting all the information ready for our national search to find the third head coach in USCB history. It's the program that's only had the least amount of coaches. So Ed Heberling
speaks of how good they've been. Ed Heberling was fantastic, and Harris was amazing.
7 years with Ed, 6 years with Jay. So really looking forward to seeing what the next chapter brings. Jay's left this
big
program
shoes to fill for sure.
But so while they had a home event, we technically didn't have a home event, but we were at home at Moss Creek, the South Course on Hilton Head. Or I still call that Bluffton. That's right before Hilton Head. But
it's funny you mentioned that. If you look at the zip codes, they actually consider Moss Creek Hilton Head, which I find kind of weird. But anyway,
but
it's right before the bridge. Right before the bridge.
Literally right before the bridge. But I went out there on Friday to take some pictures with my student assistant Abby Hunsinger, and we got some pictures and video. Tough day. Tough week, but speaking with some of the golfers, they said it was an extremely difficult course.
It really is. I've played that course before.
I've been out there once before, but never been out there to.
I have played around on that course, and it is extremely difficult. Especially the back nine. The back nine can be really, really difficult. So I mean, it's a very difficult course for anyone to play on.
So, ETSU took this one, finishing 38 over. But I mean, if you look at this and you see like who's in this ranking, these 16 teams, not one team was, anywhere close to over par. Yeah, we're one of 3 teams, plus 100. But shout out McLean Neal. She is, she is really taken over as that number one. I mean, Ashley Mead is going to finish out her career as one of the best to ever put on the Navy and sand. But McLean finished with a 3 over in yesterday's round, and then 9 over in today. But it's a tough course. That's what everybody said. Jessica Edwards works with us when she's not on the course. And she came up to the booth yesterday with her family and was like, I asked her, I said, hey, what happened? And he goes, y'all did better today. And she's like, Brackin, it's so tough. It was a tough course. So, they'll wrap up their regular season. That's what I can't believe. The regular season's almost over for golf.
Hey, it's crazy.
And
what?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not this week, but next Monday they head out to the Lady Bearcat Invitational, and that'll wrap up. But the guys start tomorrow at the Ralph Hargett Men's Invitational up in Monroe, North Carolina, hosted by Wingate. So a 2-day tournament then. So I'm assuming they'll play 36 tomorrow and 18 on Tuesday. And then we got baseball at home, outdoor track and field, heading over to Statesboro, about an hour down the road for the Georgia Southern Relays, softball at Augusta, and then baseball here with Augusta. So it's a full week, man. Spring season never stops. We all know that spring season never stops. But let's shout out our track and field team real quick as well. Newcomer Michael Martello, local boy, man. He broke the school record in the hammer throw in his first outdoor meet.
Yeah.
47.70 meters. And then we had multiple PRs. We had, I think it was 5 or 6 PRs and 4 top 5 finishes. So a great day for track and field. A lot of things to work on. Spoke with Coach Harris about it, and she said, she's excited and she's starting to pull in those kids. Part of her job when she was the grad assistant at Southeastern was recruiting. And man, she is really starting to pull those kids in. So looking forward to that. Marcella Sartuni set a personal best on the 200-meter dash. Sophia Stalford also had 2 PRs in the discus and the shot put on the women's side. And then Cam Edwards, man, I'm learning that I love the jumps. That is that I'm myself, and I'm looking forward to seeing every single time out. I'm hoping I can find a meet to get out to here soon when we don't have anything going on at baseball and softball, because it's so much fun. It really is. It's an all-day event. I mean, you're exhausted afterwards, but it's so much fun. And the track and field kids are always just fun to be around, and you learn about the scoring and how you get points and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just excited to see where this program goes under Coach Harris's direction. And now we have one Coach Harris. So that's going to be a little weird. We had 2 of them. So, but I'm excited for everything. We've talked, from baseball to softball to soccer, basketball, track and field, golf, whatever it is we bring on, it's going to be fun. I know JJ is ready for some Lowco wrestling down here. Just waiting for him to pop back in the green room and be like, yeah. So I think the next sport we're trying to add in is volleyball. Volleyball, I think, theoretically makes
a lot of sense. I mean, we got the Cove all set up. It's a great full sport and adds on to what we already have. And the volleyball scene has really started to grow here in the Low Country, just in the Southeast region. So that would be a perfect next sport to add on top of what we have, and that would be awesome to have. College volleyball, another sport to cover and be a part of here in the Low Country, to add on top to our tremendous women's soccer program, cross country, and everything that goes on during the fall. So, I'm really excited. We've taken a huge leap forward.
Yeah, specifically women's volleyball, because men's volleyball, while that's growing, it's more of a Northeast sport, is making its way down south more. High school teams have added men's volleyball or boys volleyball. But it is a spring sport. And if we ever add men's volleyball, that terrifies me because of how busy the spring is to begin with. No more midweek games for baseball and softball. It's going to be midweek volleyball games. But yeah, no, extremely excited for what the future holds with bringing in volleyball eventually, whether that be this next year and the year after that, and to see where we go in the NCAA provisional stage. We're wrapping up year 2, which is all compliance, and then next year it's just making sure that we've done everything that we're said we're going to do. Hopefully you guys can get out to the Cove here soon and kind of check out the progress with the locker rooms and the expansion.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
It's pretty sweet. The walls of the locker room, the metal beams are up. They're starting to put the walls together, starting to show some shape. Say that 5 times fast. And then you get onto the other side where we've got new offices coming, new media room. Cross our fingers, and adding on some storage for both recreation and our sports teams. And then Wes, I know you've been back there and you've seen it inside the Cove. That control room is going to be strictly our control room. So Dr. Sawyer is going to be able to put in, some more tables. We're going to use it for some storage and really work with that Sand Shark Center for Innovative Media to continue to grow this program, sports broadcasting program, and get all these students involved. So I know we've got some kids who are, kind of waiting in the wings to get ready and go. And that's the biggest thing, is just trying to get out there and build this team and go on. So, but that's going to do it here for another episode of the Sand Shark Rewind, guys. You want to close it out with anything before we head out?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to you for all the amazing things you've done to improve Sand Shark athletics, just presentation wise, and results on the field and results on the court. It's we're closing in on the last few months of this academic year, and just looking back on everything that's been accomplished and all that you've done to improve the fan experience, the presentation when you're watching or viewing a game on the Sand Shark Gaming Network, everything behind the scenes, all the media coverage, and so many student workers to shout out to. Abby Huntsinger has done just a superb job with everything that she's accomplished this year, and so many others have stepped up, and I'm just so impressed and proud of everything you've done this year. And it's just a huge step in the right direction, and the sky's the limit for what we could see into this summer, into this next 2024-25 school year. So you've done an amazing job, Brackin, and just really thrilled and excited to be part of it. Everything has just stepped up to a new level this year at USCB, and we have you and your amazing student workers to thank for it.
Well, it's easy to do when you love your job, and you can't say turn that quick around. That thank you comes all the way to our producer Justin JJ. That's he's sitting in the background now doing some work for us, but that's all just there. You take what you learn from each spot. I left and got the experience that I needed, and just trying to, it's my alma mater. We gave out shirts long ago that said "Bleed Navy and Sand," and those you bleed Navy and Sand, and now I think it's Bleed Navy, Sand, and Intercoastal Blue. That's what it is. But but yeah, Max, any wrap up before we call it a night?
Two things. I know, I was going to let this go. I just wanted to reiterate when we were talking about softball. With the Sierra Kinlaw issue, I didn't want to say. I'm not saying it was a bad call. I'm just saying I would have loved to see her finish. That's all I wanted to say. And then the second thing was, going with West here. You guys gave me a chance, a couple weeks back to do some softball games, and now I'm kind of like fully into it now. And, you guys giving me that opportunity, has helped me grow and helped me continue, doing what I love, and that's broadcasting. So, giving me and Wes the opportunities to, continue this work and, have some fun watching softball and some, Sand Shark baseball, man. It's been really fun. So,
these games have been a blast.
Oh yeah,
even though we've been coming up just really short. This series was really a blast to cover. So many competitive, close games. We saw a couple of slugfests, in previous Lander series. The bats were rolling on both sides, but some great pitching and just a couple of really close games. For just tough to see them go the other way, but I mean they were really fun games to call and cover.
Yeah, so thank you to Justin. I know he's behind the scenes tonight, so thanks to Justin, you Brackin, for giving me the opportunity, and not just me, and all the student volunteers we have working through USCB to do these broadcasts and stuff like that. It's always fun. We always have a few laughs while we're up in the booth. It's always a good time, even if we win or lose. We always love doing it because we have fun doing it, and it's what we love to do. So. Thank you to, thanks Brackin, thanks Justin for, giving me and Wes and the rest of the USCB student volunteers the opportunity to do what we love.
Yeah, no, we couldn't do it without all of you guys. So it's a pleasure to have you guys on. But we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. We'll be back again next week, hopefully talking a little bit more success. But no matter what, it's great to be a Sand Shark. And I can't wait to continue to see this program grow, all 13 sports, and just continue to get to where we want to be, being a strong competitor in the Peach Belt and hopefully on the national stage too. So, but that's going to do it all for tonight. For Wes Kerr, Max Arraj, this is Brackin Lambert signing off of the Sand Shark Rewind. We will see you next time, and make sure you keep those fins up. Bye, guys.